Hey, Yoel. Thanks for stopping by. So, ever since the start of this Jeffrey Epstein case and conspiracy, the cover up of his death, the cover up of the files, people have been receiving lots of contradictory information, and I understand if you're confused right now. If we want to take this from the top, Jeffrey Epstein died in prison, but also was killed, but also committed suicide. The official statement from our Department of Justice now is that he really did kill himself in jail. Although the footage they released is missing certain elements, certain parts, it was doctored, people have confirmed that. You have the news that Donald Trump was good friends with Jeffrey Epstein and that they palled around a lot. Donald Trump is on record talking about the type of women that Jeffrey Epstein likes, being on the younger end, but also they weren't friends. But also, the moment Trump figured out what Epstein was up to and his kitty fiddling, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago to never let him come back. Republicans demanded the release of files for years under another person's presidency, but the moment they've come into power, it's a hoax created by Democrats, and specifically Obama, to make Donald Trump look bad. But I have a new piece of contradictory information for you. It's that the FBI and the deep state were in on this the whole time, and also, Donald Trump was an informant of the FBI. At least that's according to Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. In an interview he gave yesterday on Capitol Hill, he said the following.
He's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who have suffered these unspeakable harms. It's detestable to him. He and I have spoken about this as recently as 24 hours ago.
Now, just to repeat that, because I know he was speaking a little fast right there, what he said was,
he was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down.
And this is crazy because, first of all, if you're an informant for someone, that means you've done crimes. That means they have you for something, and you're trying to weasel your way out of being charged for crimes by helping out the federal government. Informants rarely do stuff out of the kindness of their heart. Now, that's not to say the government doesn't hire people to do what is considered crimes. There is a type of person that you may have heard of called a white hat hacker. They are hired by people to infiltrate back-end systems. Basically, their job is to break into your house and show you how they broke into your house so you can fix the security and you won't get broken into again. They're not exactly federal workers, but they are paid by the government in a lot of instances to do these contracts. Essentially, what the implication here is that Donald Trump is a white hat pedophile, a white hat child rapist. Like at some point in the late 80s, he got a call from the Mission Impossible Force, and he picked it up and they told him, Agent Trump, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to infiltrate little St. James Island compound and penetrate a 15-year-old girl and become Jeffrey Epstein's mole. Surely you can see how that's crazy. Surely you can see how all of this does not make sense. This is all one lie on top of another lie, and it's stacking over our heads right now. To recap, for the past 6 years or so, Republicans on the higher up end and all of the right-wing talking heads on the internet, all these, your Tim Pools, your Joe Rogans, your Steven Crowders, all these types have been demanding the release of these Epstein files. Trump himself made this a campaign promise, but now, of course, it's a hoax, and he didn't know Epstein at all. Except for now, Donald Trump had to have hung out with Epstein because he was this, white hat pedo for the federal government. He was on a case to stake out the kid fiddlers. That's why he went into the back of the Miss Teen USA pageant. That was actually an undercover operation by the federal government for him to look at a 17-year-old's ass. Of all the things that the GOP has said recently to attempt to cover up this Epstein file stuff, to attempt to get people to stop talking about it, this is the worst one. This should be the straw that breaks a lot of camels' backs, but I gotta be honest with you, I think the people who still believe Trump and still support him to this day don't care at this point. Like, they're cheering on the kitty fiddling because at least it's their kitty fiddler and he hates all the same people that they do. All of these right-wing virtue signalers from the past few years, these shoot your local pedophile guys, well, I guess that's only unless he's your special boy and he's your dear leader. Of course, I said it a year ago, the reason that Thomas Crooks guy flipped out and tried to shoot Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, is that was right after documentation was released in Florida proving that Donald Trump was on Little St. James Island and proving that Donald Trump did touch kids. But again, that stuff doesn't matter because he's your special boy who's doing the kid touching. Very selective morals from my right-wing contemporaries, but I expect nothing less from these type of folks. As crazy as it is to suggest that Donald Trump is a white hat pedophile, I don't think this is the end of the excuses the GOP is coming up with to defend dear leader. So I guess until the next time we hear something insane for them to try and distract from these files, y'all try to have a good day.